Yo, what is up everybody? Popo here bringing guys a new video, and today we're going to be recapping the Knoxville Regionals. Let's go. Welcome everybody, and today we're going to be recapping the Knoxville Regionals. This was a fantastic event that happened this past weekend. There was a lot of really cool teams, and we're seeing a whole evolution of this meta so quickly. It seems like every week there's just something new, something that somebody's coming up with, new innovations, new techs, all kinds of things. This is a really exciting time to be getting into a meta. And yeah, we had a lot of fantastic matches from the first match that they streamed all the way into the last. Every match in between was just amazing. We saw the likes of Aaron Trailer, Aaron Cybertron Zhang. We saw everybody during this event, and it all kicked off with the first match, which was Justin Burns versus Oftamenzi, which is a fantastic matchup just to get it kicked off. And of course, we saw the new Ting Lu plus Porygon 2 team, which really took hold from the Liverpool Regionals. There was 2 players disqualified that were using this team. They never released a PokePaste for it, but since it is open team sheets, people did see what they were running and were able to take that and reverse engineer their own teams about this. So they might not be exactly one-to-one, but they are fantastic, and Justin Burns was able to win that matchup. And then the next match I want to talk about is actually, in my opinion, the match of the tournament, and this match was absolutely incredible. We had Fiona, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your last name, so I apologize, versus Kyle Livinghouse, and this match was just crazy. I don't want to spoil too much for you, so make sure you go watch that one specifically. If you didn't watch any of the matches, watch that and watch the finals. That match was absolutely insane, and it was a really fun watch, and just the reactions from the players and everything was just so cool to see. Fantastic match. Just shows really what Pokemon can be, and the irony of certain things being said really hit home in that match. So go check that one out. And of course, we had the finals, which was Toller Webb versus James Evans. A fantastic match. Toller really able to control the whole matchup, put himself in really good positions to win the game, and finishing it off with a critical hit with a Thunderbolt just to cement that victory, where it was, it was still kind of a toss-up at that point, being minus special attack. So it could have gone either way with a critical hit on either one. So it was really good to see that that they played such a fantastic match. But Toller Webb was just on top of it, just feeling it, just doing what needed to be done to get it done. So congratulations to Toller. But we're going to go through this like we always do. Just fully updated. I've been waiting all morning for this, so I'm pretty excited. I haven't really looked at much of this. We have Fluttermane as number 1 at 56%, so this has dropped 10% from last week on usage. We see Ogerpon actually climbing to 48%, being number 2 over Incineroar. We have Incineroar as number 3 now, 38%, still not bad. Tornadus Incarnate at 31%. Then we have the Urshifu's fighting out, but the interesting fact is Urshifu Rapid Strike actually dropped out of the top 12 in day 2. So we're seeing the decrease of the Rapid Strike and the Single Strike continuing to improve its results and do really well. As we see here, 53% win percentage on that Urshifu, whereas Tornadus we also have 52, but if you factor in the 48% from the Rapid Strike, it's not great. We see the Farigiraf dropping to 48% win percentage, 25% usage. Rillaboom under 50% as well, 24% usage. Amoonguss 52. I think we're going to continue to see the rise of Amoonguss, and I think it'll be the second grass type, as there's 3 grass types in this top 12. Chen Pao continued to drop, only 48% win percentage, 18%. Raging Bolt 51%, so keeping about even there with that 18% usage. Gouging Fire 54% win percentage. This thing is starting to take off. I called it mid a long time ago, and I stick by the mid allegations, but Results are results, right? So 54% is always going to be good, and it has a good 17-ish% usage, just beating out Ogerpon Fire, which is at 16%, meaning 70% of teams essentially had an Ogerpon on it. King Gambit, we got 53% win percentage, but Landorus Eye, 56% win percentage is huge. Coming in second as well, both of these Pokemon here and the Gouging Fire all coming in second. Only 12% usage, but with that huge win rate is really good for it. It's really showing that this Landorus could really be the real deal rather than the other Landorus, which in my underused Pokemon, I actually said Landorus Incarnate, and Landorus Therian, because it had dropped off so hard. Now we're seeing that Landorus Incarnate might be the one staying on top. We got Indeedee, and we'll go with Iron Crown 2, only finishing third, 30th, 48%, so no top cuts for the size spam stuff going on this week. We got Ursaluna Blood Moon also falling to 13th, only 50% win percentage. A lot more people are prepared for this thing, so people are countering it a lot better. Glamora, only 39% usage with the 54 win rate. This is multiple weeks in a row now. It's been over 54%. So I'm interested to see if this thing climbs, because it didn't really climb. I thought it was going to climb. It didn't really change much. 39 usage. Wolf Glick actually got 5th in a tournament using Glamora as well. So I think, in my opinion, this thing is going to be in the top, 13, 14 maybe area, rather than 19th. It's kind of low for it, I think. We got Goldango at 54% as well, with 38 usage with 8% on teams. I'm surprised that this thing did so well, considering that a lot of people were using that Ting Lu setup. We had Dragonite doing okay, 50% win percentage. That's better than the last time around. Chi-Yu also around there. Entei, despite getting third, 43% win percentage is not very good. So this Pokemon showing that it was a new toy syndrome type thing. I think he's going to continue to fall, and I think we'll continue to see, Gouging Fire increase. But getting a third and still having 43% win percentage is not the thing you want. We got Iron Hands, 53 win percentage is decent, only on 6% of teams and only finishing 27th. I think this thing is still just behind Incineroar. We have Archaludon finishing 78th with a 47% win percentage. So Archaludon is just not hitting where it should be hitting, You would think that this thing would have a really good position. You can put it with Chi-Yu, stuff like that, and do some fun stuff, but it's just not doing what it needs to do. We have Ting Lu, 52.86%, which is not too bad. Finishing 7th, we see a lot of these teams, and we're combining that with the Porygon. We had 3 Ting Lus that weren't with Porygons. But Porygon did have a better win percentage, so just showing that Porygon might be okay on its own and can be teamed up with some other stuff. Though them sharing weaknesses is a little rough sometimes, especially because you're using the same Terra on both. Torkoal, only 43% win percentage, 33rd. 33rd's not a bad finish for Torkoal, but 43% is terrible. Whimsicott, 41% win percentage is really bad. 24th, this thing still hasn't shown that it's good. It still has just been bad. It seems like it was going to be good and then just hasn't. Maybe in a restricted format that it'll be able to take advantage. Of course, Moonblast will do a lot more damage to a lot of those Pokemon that come in the restricted format, so maybe that's what it's waiting for. But as of right now, 41% is not it. Regidrago falling off as well. 34th, that has something to do with the fact that it's on a lot of these size spam teams. Same with regular Ursaluna. A lot of people are countering the other Ursaluna. So just by default, this Ursaluna also gets countered because it's the same typing. This is crazy. Okay, only 15 Arcanine, Hisuian Arcanines, but a 60% win percentage, showing that this thing is an absolute beast. Finishing 5th, really good finish for it. Incineroar still finished higher, but had a less win percentage. Obviously, more usage could mean also more losses. But yeah, so that's a huge win percentage. So Hisuian Arcanine really stapling its place in. We had Roaring Moon at that percent too. 52% is not bad, 20th place. Walking Wake, this is another one. Like Whimsicott, I think this Pokemon just gets better in restricted formats. Paired with Groudon, I think this thing is going to be really, really good. But we'll have to wait and see. Next, we have Dondozo. So Dondozo and Stretchy Tatsugiri are just the only two that are being used. Like, nobody's using any of the other Tatsugiris. We see, obviously, same win percentage, but 26 is the finish. And I believe it was the same team that had been used by Chuppa a few tournaments ago. Hatterene at 50%, once again, 32nd. We're not doing too well with these size spam teams. A lot of people are learning how to counter them. And we have an Iron Bundle, 9th. And then here's the Landorus that I said was going to be a Pokemon that could be watched out for, but 37.9%. It's not great. It's not great. 99th place. Look at this Metagross, a 36% win percentage, 154. What is the worst Pokemon that has multiple uses? I guess Brute Bonnet, Magmar. Magmar not doing too well. This could go up because Wolfie just used it. Latios also not really bringing it on 4 teams there. Yeah, Metagross is the worst, with Landorus being not too far behind on that. We have Araquanid actually falling off too. Not being used by many teams, but really not bringing anything. Finishing it really, really low. We have Kingdras down here, so Rain not really showing up. We have Registeel. I know Leaf has been a huge fan of Registeel, but Registeel not showing up in this tournament as it did a couple of tournaments ago. Somebody's using Galar Moltres. I respect it. I love Galar Moltres. Smeargle, only one Smeargle in this tournament, and it finished 353rd, so not a great showing by that. Screamtail, 5 of them, 41%. So really, really interesting. I always love looking at these little usage status. We have Sliverwings finishing almost dead last. No wins. Went 1-0. 0-1, sorry. But yeah, so really interesting. I really like looking at that. It really gives them a perspective to things. So we're gonna look over here. The best pair, I know you guys can't really see this part, but it is Flutter Ogerpon, of course. These are just gonna be pairs that like would be obvious. We have a Solvest at 66% of teams, so Solvest continuing to rise. Booster Energy beating out Focus Sash now. And we have that Wellspring Mask sticking there. I think it was one higher. Yeah, because Booster Energy was further down, I think. But yeah, so pretty obvious. Fairy going up. I think it was 18% last week. We got 21% this week. And 18% for Water. So Water increasing. And Fake Out being the #1 physical move, with Ivy Cudgel being #2. We got Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, a Shadow Ball. And the one after that Fluttermane cannot get is Earth Power, and we have Icy Wind, Hyper Voice, and Snarl. Protect, of course, Spiky Shield, Follow Me, Trick Room, Tailwind, and Helping Hand. All obvious selections for there. Only 38% of Pokemon using Protect, I guess, right? That's what that means. That seems really low, but that's okay. So yeah, we got Toller's team. He got the Dark Urshifu, and he has that Goldango. Really good combo, because Goldango does resist those fairy types. And he can hit all the ghost types that hit, and the dark types that hit Goldango for super effective. So really strong there. We have the Assault Vest Raging Bolts, which is really strong right now. So cool to see that up there. And of course we have that Tornadus, just giving speed boosts to everything and doing what it needs to do. James Evans, we have, of course, a team that has Howl, so it's going to be able to Howl, give some boost to your boys, and then we got a couple of special attackers that can do a lot of damage and kind of redirect those attacks and take aggro from your opponents rather than having like a Follow Me or something, but just straight up takes aggro. Rike, I was rooting for Rike. Like that was my pick. I was like, let's go. But unfortunately was unable to do it, but had that Entei, so really good uses of that Entei. This was a weird Entei, and I'd missed the interview, but I was told that they had the Clear Amulet on here for just very specific matchups and certain things and whatever, but I just don't know how I feel about having Clear Amulet on a Pokemon that's already not being hit by Intimidate. I just feel like a different item might have been just that little bit of boost that it needed to do something else here. But who knows? You know, you don't want to get your speed dropped or whatever it might be. So, like, I get it. but I don't get it. You know what I mean? Next, we have a team that's very similar to the team that won, except it just has the Landorus Eye, and it has the Chi-Yu instead of the Gold Dango and the Raging... No, not the Raging Bolt. The... Wait, what's different? The Incineroar, sorry. The Incineroar. So it doesn't have those two, has those two in the place. Still a lot of damage. Very similar team here, except we have that Arcanine over that Chi-Yu. But yeah, it's the same exact. Otherwise, here we have the Chi-Yu, we have the Tornadus, and we have that Glamora by Kyle. Really cool team. Very offensive team. Not a team I would really play. Next we have Avery, and Avery was using that standard Porygon, Ting-Lu, and Como team that we saw. So I really like this team, honestly. Like, I'm a big fan of it. Nora, I don't think we ever get to see Nora on stream, but the best placing water Urshifu is right here. And otherwise pretty standard. You got the Trick Room that you could do so you can be a little bit slower than your opponent if they have a faster team. And then, of course, just like Wolf's team, you have the really fast Urshifu. Then, here we go. I got one right, boys. I've been saying for weeks and weeks, Landorus is going to be the, like, really good Pokemon. Like, he's super underused. And here we go. Len showing that he can be used. This is a Regulation C team, by the way, and placing 9th. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to see Len in the top cut. I wanted to see Len win the whole thing when they said what when they said what he was using. Like, I wanted to see this win the whole thing. Joe using the Chien-Pao Dragonite stuff, and I believe he has Howl on this to boost them all up because he has all physical attackers except for one. So yeah, just missing out on the top cut as well because of resistance, just like Len. We have a team that instead of the Dark Urshifu has the Water Urshifu, and it has Porygon. So very interesting. I was using 4 of these 6 Pokemon on my team that I went to a PC a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check that one out too. Then we have a very similar team to the one up here with the Justin Tang's team that had the Arcanine as well. Very, very similar. And then we have another Glamora team, but this is the slower Glamora team. This one is the more common one, I would say. I saw other people using this team prior. Pretty standard Wolf team right here, except it has a couple of changes. The different Urshifu, and it has the Landorus. And then Luca using, I believe, the same team that he's been using, so that makes sense. And then Fiona's team. Here we go. Fiona's team. I really like this team. Suicune, Snarl, Icy Wind, Tailwind, and Scald on this thing. And you got the Arcanine, so you can get some Intimidates. You have Baxcalibur, who's going to take some fire attacks that go into like your Rillaboom or whatever it might do. And then you got your special attackers that can do a lot of damage. So Suicune is mainly there just to slow your opponents down, lower their special attacks, so your other Pokemon can really output the damage that they need and survive longer. So really, really cool team. Once again, go watch that match because it was just so good. We got Jesse here. Jesse using a pretty standard Glamora Chi-Yu team. Then we got Moxie Boosted, who is using a... I don't even know what Moxie Boosted had. Let me see. So, yeah, it was just Breaking Swipe. So Dragon Dance, Gouging Fire with Clear Amulet. I tried that recently, and I was okay on it. We have the Ting-Lu, Snarl, Stomping Tantrum, Heavy Slam, and Throat Chop. It needs Fissure. I'm just gonna be honest. Ogerpon Wellspring, pretty standard. We have the Focus Sash here. Covert Cloak, Taunt, Tailwind, Bleak Wind, and Leer. Okay. I like the Leer. And then we have the Choice Specs with the Perish Song. This is very similar to what was on that Ting-Lu team that we were talking about earlier. Let me get to the right one. I apologize for that. I didn't think I had these tabs on this one, but okay, sure. Shout out to TGH watching your stream. All right. And then we have Lorcy here, and Lorcy's using a very similar team to what Brendan Zhang was using. We see the Roaring Moon on this one. So yeah, and then we see another one of that same team, except you have the Gold Dango, and this is what I was using on mine too. I was using Gold Dango. I didn't really like it, and I didn't have Como, which it's because I didn't know what Como set to use, and I just didn't really like the rolls I was seeing, so I ended up taking off. But yeah, so and then we see another one here, 28th. So we see quite a few of those. So really interesting regional overall. It was a really fun watch, honestly. If you want to go see some incredible games, like there was just different teams every round. It was crazy. It was just like there's so much going on right now in the game that it just makes for really interesting watches overall. And but yeah, that is it for me, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you guys thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.